Welcome to Johann's Ego Killer. I'm Johann Francis, CSCS. This is a show where we review stories about people like you inside the gym, because there's one thing I know about you. You do better when the ego's been defeated. Alright, today a special guest, Thomas No Mas Diagne. Thomas Diagne is a French kickboxing champion who is now the head striking coach at the world famous, and I do mean world famous, American Kickboxing Academy right here in San Jose. Thomas has a ton of experience. He's a Shou champion. He moved here some 10 odd years ago. And as I've personally known about him and seen him inside the gym, not only is he a really smart coach, he's a very great coach. I thought he has an interesting story to tell, and we do get into it. One thing I always admired about him is how great of a coach he was. From day one, I noticed, for me, how he was easily able to communicate the nuances of kickboxing and kick technique. I'll never forget first actually being in the gym with him. And look, I had no idea like 10 years later I'd be asking him to do a podcast, right? This is this non-circuitous life that we lead. It's great. But when I met Thomas, I was at the gym. I was at Kung Lee's gym. All right. These names might not mean much to you if you're not inside of MMA specifically. Pretty niche. But just know that this man is a monster inside of not only like celebrity in San Jose. You know what I'm saying? He's about as San Jose as it gets, if you ask me, Kung Lee. But just also inside of MMA, the man's carved quite the legacy for himself. It's not like on maybe Mount Rushmore, but if you're him, you lay down at night, you've accomplished some things. I'm just saying. Anyway, all right. Okay, so it's like this. I went there. I used to train there. And when I pulled up one day to train, there was this man in the back. After training, right, we're all kicking the crap out of each other, pads. Remember, we used a lot of Thai pads, and we all go into the back. Okay, I actually tried to tell this story on the show, but as we're talking, but Zoom messed up. But anyway, so this day 10 years ago, we all go back there because the locker room is towards the back. Well, in the back, there's a hallway. Inside the hallway is almost like, like when you see back in the 80s, they had those racquetball gyms, and the racquetball was separated and a big glass, and then you go into the glass room, and there they play racquetball. You know what I mean? And they had some of those gyms around like 20 years ago still. Well, here you go back there, and there's a full, I believe it was like a boxing ring. It wasn't a cage. And here's this man, right, this brother, and he's doing a work on another guy. And the other guy he was doing work with is actually pretty damn good himself. And just the way he moved, the way he was hitting the other guy, Thomas, the way he was moving and hitting this guy and getting out, he was lean as hell, right? He looked like a freaking IBBF champion. Like he was flawless in there. And we were all looking at each other, stunned, silent. Turned out to be Thomas, and that was just the beginning. So I come back like a month later, and apparently he's teaching, right? And of course, at the time, all the whispers, who's this guy? And, they brought him in, and all this excitement. And look, back then, Kung Lee, his gym was super legit. A lot of buzz around not just him, but his gym. A lot of it. So, fast forward about a month later, we're taking a class. It's a kickboxing class. And he's teaching. Thomas is teaching, right? Thomas is teaching this class. And we're doing spinning back kicks. This is early on in my development and training, so I've maybe learned how to do this once with somebody else. But to this day, I will never forget how Thomas taught it. To this day. Because the way he taught it, the cadence of his voice, and just his wellspring of knowledge, he wasn't trying to regurgitate something somebody else taught him. No. You could tell he had a full mastery over what he was talking about, and that this discussion, this teaching lesson came from a very real place. He talked about how sprinters, Olympic level sprinters, how they're able to stay extra relaxed while they're running. So their bodies are doing the most intense thing ever, but their faces are bouncing up and down because they're so relaxed. And let me tell you something about Thomas. Is that's the sense you get. He just moves like that throughout life, right? That he just is able to do that in life. So he's practicing what he's teaching. We're all picking up on that as a function of not only who he is as a teacher and a fighter. It's great. And, I go over to his classes to this day, and they're still packed. They're late at night. You go in, you don't want to do anything except eat a big dinner, you drink a beer, and go to bed. No. He's teaching, and his classes are packed. So people show up for his classes to this day, and we get into it. We start talking about a lot of stuff. So we talk about his upbringing in France, him moving here and picking up more of the language. We talk about his family. We talk about how being inside the gym, sometimes someone might get the better of you inside the gym, right? But that doesn't mean, if someone gets the better of you, you might spend a couple of days thinking about how you're going to get them back, but you don't let it defeat you. Never. We talk about that. And look, when he says it, he's been on the biggest stage. He's been in MMA. He's been on the Glory Kickboxing scene. This guy's done a lot of things, traveling overseas many times to fight and get paid. He talks about how ego is actually a good thing a lot of times, especially in the thing that he does, this fighting of his. Ego can be a very good thing because it's more of an aplomb, and that helps you feel like the most sometimes. And inside of fighting, being the most is a good thing, right? Someone's trying to knock your neck off. It's trying to wobble you. Feeling like you're the most and you can do it right back is hyper important. Not just because you want to walk around with your chest out and that it's important to give off a false veneer of confidence. No, it's to inspire yourself. You want to feel like the most because that helps you dig deeper and find that part of you that is the most. Okay? If you don't believe it's in there, it ain't there. But if you believe it's there, you might be able to find out what that person looks like. And then what that person can do. What the version of you, and by version I just mean learning more about yourself. Because we are, we have a lot of, not so much sides as men, as people, as women. Not sides, not versions. But we do apply ourselves differently under different circumstances. And again, I think fighting is the one place where we show all the sides of ourselves under the auspices of a coach, and that's it. Maybe no coach. Right? And there's no one there except you. You're the imprimatur of yourself in that moment. You're the one trying to impress you. You know what I mean? And how great is it that you're not there to impress anybody else? You're there to do you as best, number one, as best you can. I think fighting in many capacities is the greatest exploration of that, which is why I have so much respect. So that's a tangent. The point is, listening to Thomas helped reaffirm that for me. So, hey, enough of an ear beating from me. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Yes, that's what I do the most these days. I still train, but I took a break from fighting to focus on coaching and coaching the fighters and coaching personal training, and I got into management and then promotion too. So we're working a lot.
That's cool. Hey, you know what? When you did the, I remember you had a post many years ago with Glory, and you had the. Did you sign with them?
Yeah, I signed with them. Yeah,
That's fire. That's fun. I love watching that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Me too. It's nice to go back to kickboxing, putting some big gloves again. It's nice.
Yeah. Hey, why do you think? Because I love watching Glory more than honestly, anything. Why not? Is this purely European? Like, why don't we get more kickboxing here? Because I think it's super exciting.
It's based in Europe, but I don't know what is the reason. It's based in Europe. Kickboxing was always bigger in Europe, you know.
Yeah.
So they probably focus their energy on Europe. I'm not sure. It's just a wild guess. And MMA is big here. MMA took over a lot of things, you know. So I'm not sure what the reason is, but I would think that, you know, it's much harder to make it work here since MMA is so big and kickboxing is much bigger in Europe. So, but there are some shows here. There are some shows. My 2 fights that I did with Glory was here in US. So there are some fights that you just don't hear about it because MMA just, you know, putting shadows on everything else. But
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Did you ever, when you were growing up, like, you got into a fight? If you did, I don't know. You didn't kick them, though. You have to use your hands.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't get into many fights when I was a kid. You know, I did, you know, maybe 2 or 3, and it wasn't even like real fights. It was more of a wrestling fight. So I didn't throw a lot of a lot of strikes fighting in the street. I was never a street fighter.
That's lucky for them. Lucky for them.
I didn't know how to fight either. So
I feel you. That's something that you do gotta learn it.
Right.
You do gotta learn it, cause yeah, I wouldn't say I had a lot of playground dust ups. That's what I did. I took the bus a lot when I was a kid here, but
same for me.
You learn to watch out. Like, you learn to fight with, like, your wit. At least I did. Like, I learned to use other things because I was always so scared of getting into shit, like on the bus or whatever. So I had to think of other ways, you know, to defend myself. So maybe that's why I like keep learning to fight, you know.
Yeah. I know. I feel you. You know, Paris is buses and subways. So Paris is just like New York. So, you know,
Dude.
you know you're in danger at all times. So you gotta find your solutions to your ways.
So I've heard about a tiny bit about Paris because it's a huge city, right?
Yeah.
And big cities, they're segmented. Like, some places you go, some places you gotta watch out. What was it like? Just like, because that's a big. San Jose is big, but even like if you grow up here, because I lived in Toronto. Toronto's massive. What is it like living in a city that size? Like, and how was it as a youngster? And
it's very similar to New York. You know, the thing is, me, I wasn't from downtown Paris. I was more in suburb. It's like, let's say I was in New Jersey. You know what I mean? So, I was outside of Paris, but you go in Paris all the time for many reasons. So we were right next to the downtown Paris, which is exactly like New York with all the buildings. That's it.
Is it?
You know, there is wherever you're walking, there is subways underneath you. So
yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Really everywhere.
The subways, right?
Yeah, subways.
And then, yeah, because you lived there for until how old?
Until 25 years old, and then I came here.
What do you like better?
Here, I'm more comfortable here. I was never a city guy. That's why I was always comfortable living in the suburb. but I'm just more comfortable here. I'm older. I got 3 kids, so
Okay.
You know, being with my wife and 3 kids, you just want to be comfortable now. It's not the hustle life where you were a kid. It's like, yeah, Paris is great when you're moving a lot, when you're doing different things, but now it's different. Now being comfortable is much more important than
I hear
being
you.
in this type of
San Jose is very it affords a lot of comfort. It does. Or I don't know if you live in San Jose, but around here. So I feel you for sure. For sure. And then you got a big family there. You got 3 kids. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
Yeah, I have a wife and 3 kids. How many brothers and sisters? I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I grew up with 2 of them. So I grew up with my brother and my sister, and my half brother and half sister grew up with my father.
Did you have to? It's different. I didn't grow up with any siblings, but I have them like half, whatever they call it. And then it's all family. But did you ever have to defend them, either their honor or physically? Were you tasked with that, or did they show you the ropes? Like, go into this, go to college, go to this, that. What was that like for you? Because I know for me, like, I had cousins too. They were the ones who taught me to callous. They calloused me. They made me stronger.
Yeah, I'm saying brother and sister, but I had a lot of cousins too, and I grew up with them too. We grew up in the same houses, so we really. I grew up in a big family, so
did you?
I'm not the oldest. I'm not the oldest. I'm not the youngest. So we were all. It was all a big village. So we.
That's it.
We African. We're Africans. We have our system in place. We of course I had to take care of my brothers and sisters. They're much younger than me, so of course I had to teach them everything. That's why I don't have much trouble raising my kids today, because I feel like I've already done it a couple times.
Oh, that's dope that you say that. That's cool. I don't have this. I'm learning on the fly, so that's cool that you were able to translate that, because now that's good. You got 3 kids. That's good. Yeah, cool. I'm always curious, like, because you mentioned your African side, like so obviously, like, then France, you're born there, but your family's not born there. So you had to learn like a bunch of languages.
Yeah, I didn't have to learn. It came naturally. I understand. Wolof.
Okay.
Wolof. Yeah, Wolof is a Senegalese dialect. We're from Senegal, so
right.
I understand Wolof. I don't speak it very well. I have to think about it for me to speak, but it's not natural for me to speak. But I understand it very well, and we used to go to Africa every year. So we you learn about your roots, and you learn about the language too in the process. And our parents used to speak to us in Wolof a lot, so I just knew it. I don't know how I learned it, but I just understood it at one point. I didn't even realize how I learned it, because I don't speak it. I always answer in French, but somehow I'm able to understand everything.
You might that's smart, because you live here, you don't learn anything else except like your English and whatever you go in high school.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing in French. In France, it's
But you guys learn English, no? In France?
No. Same. I knew as much English as you know French. Like, you take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years maximum, and then you're done with English. So you just learn the English that they teach you at school. It has nothing. it's very different than the English that people speak.
Honestly, and that's my own like bias. I didn't figure that. I thought they taught it. So that's like I thought they like made you learn it like as a kid.
No,
That's
not
funny.
like that. We learn some English. First of all, it's the English from UK, so it's very different.
Yeah, yo.
And no, when I came here, and I never even really paid attention to English anyway in class. So when I came here, I wasn't speaking English. I knew a little bit, you know. I knew yes, no, I don't know, I want to go there, things like that. But I didn't know how to speak. When I came here, I couldn't speak.
So you were fighting though at the time then, because you were 25, and then
I was 25, so yeah, I was already fighting for a good over 10 years already.
dang. All right, so I want to talk about that briefly. Like after that's a long time already. But what was it like? Cause yo, you don't know the language, the lingua franca, and then you got to learn it. Did anyone ever try to check you on that? Because
Yeah,
look,
yes.
you know, before that, even like, so for listeners, like you trained at Kung Lee and AKA. That's yeah, that's top of the pyramid. So you're gonna get all kinds of personalities. Did anyone try to check you, knowing you
No,
didn't?
just no, not to check me seriously like that. Just making fun of, because
Oh,
that's normal. Yeah, that's normal. That's what we do. But like I remember Josh Thompson used to make fun of me a lot since until today. So you know how Thompson is. Yeah, he used to make fun of my accent or things like that. But not even mean, just to joke around and be funny. But
that's
no,
cool.
nobody would. But we would just joke around a lot, and at AK too, same thing. But I'm from a tough. I grew up with my cousin, big family, things like that. So we used to roast each other all day.
So you were cool with that then? Yeah. So you knew what
Yeah,
it
exactly.
was.
I already, I'm from that environment. We just roast each other. So
So you didn't have a big ego then growing up because your cousins, my cousins did that to me. They made sure that I knew the ropes. Did you? How big was your ego? Because you're not an egotistical guy. Yeah.
No. We all had a big ego. We just,
Right on.
we were just ready for battle. That's all. The battle. Even when you get humbled, like your ego is still there. You just learn that sometimes you accept certain things. That's it.
Hey, so let's say you're in the gym. I don't know, but you're sparring someone. I know it's the tit for tat, but like, have you ever been in a spot in the gym? Because like I said, it's a big, heavy hitting places where it fucked with you for a day or two, or maybe even a week. That someone was able to make moves on you.
Of course, all the time. All the time.
Okay, how do you come back from that? Because isn't that like knock you back?
You come back by doing better. It doesn't knock you back. It makes you think that how I'm gonna get that guy back.
I know.
We competitors. We don't. If we are where we are, it's because we don't get broken. We don't give up easily. We don't get broken easily. And every time having a bad day of sparring, I was having that discussion with the fighter not too long ago. Because every time you have a bad day in sparring, you think about it for the next 2 days because you're about to spar again. But this is what gets you better. Since I was a kid, this is what gets you better. Is by being is by being dominated or even destroyed by someone, and either you break it or you come back. We're professional because we never give up. We always come back. But that's what gets you better. There's no way you can become good if you didn't get if your ego didn't take a hit.
Yeah.
Many times. No way.
What do you do? So you just let it happen next time. If just you're gonna get better, right? That's how you know.
Yeah, you think about it, then you try to have a better performance. You made some mistake. You think about it, you come back stronger. Easy, very simple.
That's pretty noble. It's like hard to do though. But you're right. There's a difference. You're not the same as weekend warriors if you're professional. It's a living.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Because I'm trying to think, like, it's only something that I'm able to grasp that the older I get. I'm almost 40, I guess. But as a younger person, that was hard for me to swallow. Like, to just focus on the performance to get better, right? And I know you're right. But I know for me, and I'm like a lot of people I train with strength training. Like, is that something that was that natural? Or how did you learn that? Because you had to take a couple L's along the way. And maybe you didn't, but in order for you to learn that process, how to walk that off, what was that process to learn that, hey, I come back by doing better, I'm performing?
I don't have an answer. I don't know. I don't know if it's natural or I don't know if it's natural or if it's something. I mean, something has to happen for you to want to compete and prove that you're strong. So this goes with the ego. If I didn't have an ego, I wouldn't be competing. I'm competing because I want to show that I'm strong. I'm competing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can fight in the gym. I can fight in the streets. No, I'm competing to show the world who I am, and this is almost pure ego. So
that's true, actually. Hey, that's true, because you're saying like it's a good thing too.
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing. You just got to be careful with it. You just can't let it take over your entire personality. But it's a it can be a quality. It can be something that drives you, of course. But like we know, the ego can do a lot of negative things too.
Yeah, I feel that.
In an association, it's called Lionheart Initiatives, and our goal is just to develop mixed martial art in Africa, martial arts in general in Africa. So we went there and did some seminars, and we even did some events. We did many jiu-jitsu tournaments all over Africa, west, east. So we with COVID it got slowed down a little bit, but a lot. But that's our goal. The same thing is very simple. We're just trying to make events and try to help, of course, fighters and all the people who practice martial arts to have better opportunities and to have better access to it by bringing fighters and coaches from all around the world, from Europe, from America, from another part of Africa. So we're working over there to be able to and to also take from them too, because to learn from them too, because you have a lot of you have a big wrestling culture in Senegal. They've been doing this for decades, probably centuries.
Really?
So it's a big culture over there. So when we went there with Ken Velasquez, he also learned from them too. It wasn't just him giving a seminars, or it was an exchange where they learn, we learn too, and we share.
Sharing that's quality right there, and then being able, because that's another place with the ego, right? Sharing is checking your ego a little bit. That's good. They have a big wrestling culture. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, they have a big wrestling culture in Senegal. It's called lamb wrestling. You can look it up. And yes, they've been wrestling for a long time. And you'll see, it's very interesting. It's on the sand, and they fight for real. So
maybe I have seen this. Isn't there a documentary?
Yeah, there a documentary on Netflix, I think.
I've seen it in part.
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it a lot.
How you spell it?
Lamb, Laamb.
Okay.
I think so. Lamb wrestling. I think so. Look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'm always looking for it. Cool. Right on. So yeah, man. Okay, so we'll close with these couple questions, and they're short.
No problem.
Okay, so you got somebody that's young, They want to walk the path. They want to go into the same business you're in. Right? Maybe they're like 20 or something like that. Maybe they're 20 or something like that. What is the piece of advice that you give them for your line of work?
I want to tell him, don't give up and keep showing up to practice. Just keep showing up to practice. It's very simple. Keep showing up to practice, and just don't stop, and things will open for you.
What was it like? What did you learn when you were 15? The skill, the fighting style. You said you started. Was it wrestling first, or?
No, it was kung fu. I started with kung fu. Sancho come from kung fu. I mean, that's the fighting, line of kung fu. You know, kung fu. There is the form as we know, what we see in movies and stuff like that, and there is the combat, which is Chinese, Russian kickboxing, where we, it's kickboxing and it's pretty much kickboxing with throws, with takedowns, I want to say.
Yeah, so, I wanted to try that, my friend. I wanted to try that when
it was. I mean, it was big. It was big in San Jose at one point.
I know.
Because of Kung Lee.
Yeah.
Kung Lee, but made that big in US.
Because I wanted. Didn't he? He went like traveled and performed it, right? Like he did it. I wanted to do that. Is that how fun is
just
that?
Just like I did.
Yeah.
That was the best. That was the best fun. The best fun in my life is when I was in the national. When I was in the national team of Shou, and we used to travel the world. And Kong was in the USA.
Yeah.
Team. So.
That was the most fun you had, huh? Did you make money with it? You didn't make money though.
Nah, it's amateur. I didn't make money for a long, long time.
Oh well, yeah, I guess so. Dang, you got to travel like that. Did you ever meet? So you got to face people doing. Whoa, you get to meet people doing Sancho. That's challenging because they're kicking and then they have different grappling techniques. So you have to adapt, no?
Yeah, of course. I mean.
Damn.
They're kicking, punching, and they're doing you can do takedowns. It can be throws. It can be a double leg. It can be a single leg. It can be, but with big gloves. So it's of course very different than the real wrestling, because as soon as you get to the ground, you stop wrestling. So it's a very small portion of wrestling. We can't call them wrestlers yet, but they do know how to take people down.
And you did that, and then what came after that? So you were good at Sancho. You won titles.
Yeah, I won titles. I won world titles. I won European titles. I did a little bit of kickboxing, and I moved in 2009. I moved to US. I signed with Strikeforce.
Strikeforce was MMA only, or is it kickboxing and MMA, right?
No, MMA only, and I didn't know nothing about grappling,
right.
So it was a risky choice.
And then, so you kept that same mentality, I'm assuming, to work to get better. Because, like, you got to now do a new martial arts, new competition. You got the bright lights, the Strikeforce, but you're able to, I'm assuming you're able to adapt to that. And so you did MMA.
It took time because.
Took time, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it took time because I was a champion back in Central, and I come back and I have to restart from zero. So we were talking about ego. That's a big ego test right there, because you're not the best in the room anymore. So I had to restart from zero and learn the grappling and wrestling, and it took a couple of years to being able to just grapple or wrestle with anybody.
A couple of years, man. People give up for less. So now that you're coaching all these I don't know if they're young, all these guys now, you're the man over there Is it striking? Because it's not head coach, I think, Mr. Mendez. But what do you just? Can you explain what your role is like officially there?
Yeah, I'm the striking coach for the MMA team.
All right.
And you have Ron Kessler, who takes care of the grappling, and you have you have DC, so Daniel Cormier and Sean Bunch, who takes care of the wrestling.
And how? What are your expectations for that going forward? Because it's heavy.
I mean,
It's that's school though.
Yeah, thank you. No, my expectation is just like any coach, to just bring a lot of champions, the most we can, and to try to be the most successful we can with our team.
Do you feel pressure? Because I know you don't, but I'm saying like school's got a big old name and it's got this massive legacy, etc.
To just try to continue to try to find the best recipes to evolve with the sports, and we should be fine.
Anybody on the? I don't know if this is a good question, but is there anyone that you're like, man, that people don't know about?
Yeah, of course. Of course, there are a couple.
Yes.
Of course, there are a couple that are not on TV yet. That are mixed.
Are they?
But that's always the way it is. Like you didn't know Ken Velasquez before he was and he was a beast at the gym. So it's always like that.
Yeah. So then, I look forward to it. You're gonna be doing the. So I just assume it's gonna be MMA guys. You're gonna be on all over the place, traveling with them. Sometimes, corner this and that. Yes.
Yeah, we already are.
Beautiful.
We've been traveling, and we're traveling again soon with the fighters when they fight. So everywhere, and I also teach kickboxing. So I have a bunch of kickboxers, amateur kickboxers who. It's also fun to coach those guys to become kickboxers and maybe MMA fighters in the future. But it's also fun to do a little bit of kickboxing on the side too, because I do actually a lot. I teach a lot of privates and also classes in kickboxing, like as you know.
Yes. For sure.
So
Bomb coach.
I also enjoy this.
This Right on. Good. I appreciate your time, and then I'm gonna let you go. And then let me ask you this: what's the last thing? If you're having trouble getting over the barrier of getting to being the best athlete you can be, the barriers that prevent you from getting there. Like if I had to say, Coach, it's hard for me to get there, but it's in me. I know it is. What would you tell someone like that?
Well, it depends what is hard. Everybody has his own problem, so it really depends. Why do you think that it's hard? If you have it in you, what makes it hard? Is it your life? Is it your mental? Is it everybody is different. We all have our lives and stuff like that. Some people it's just the paperwork. They're not able to come here because they don't have no visas. So it's very different for everybody. So again, it's hard for me to answer that question because it's very relative.
What if I said it was too challenging, just plain out too hard, but you're someone, you look at them and you're like, nah, they could do it. You believe they could do it. They don't believe in themselves, because it's challenging. There's time constraints, job.
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
That means you don't have it in you.
And to accept it.
You'll make it work. We made all the sacrifice we had to make to come. I left my country to come here. Whatever your excuse is, you make sacrifice in life to get wherever you can. If you don't believe in yourself, I'm not the one who can tell you, no, I think you can do it. If you tell me you don't believe in yourself, let's just stop the conversation here.
Hey, I feel that. Then it's swallowing the pill, and that is an ego check too. All right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Hey, Tomas, thank you for your time. Sorry you can't see me
You're
because of the
welcome,
glare,
man.
but thank you.
It's all good. Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Coach, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that'll be the end of the recording, but you know, I'll see you soon. My plan is to go in like every now and again.
Oh, sorry.
No worries, my bad. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, and good luck in your podcast. You know, let me know when it comes out, so I'll help you promote a little bit. You know.
I
And then,
appreciate you. I will.
yeah. Of course. And then I hope I see you again at the gym, man. You know, come. I told you when you come, I take care of you. You know.
And I'll be back for sure.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Sounds good.
All right. Have a good day, Tomas. Thank you, huh?
Yeah, you too, man. Take care, brother.
Peace out, brother.
Uh huh.